Okay, this nostalgia is Plum High School Battle of the Bands. My senior year of high school, I was on the outs with my group of friends who I was only ever tenuously associated with anyhow. And through just a series of petty, mischievous acts involved with the GATE program, and basically taking advantage and spitting in the face of a lot of opportunities that were handed my way that I could have really bettered myself through taking seriously. I was on the outs with administration of Plum High School. I wasn't an actual threat, but I wasn't persona non grata, but I was like persona non cool. We're running low on the creative insight here. Anyway, the point is that all these bands come to this Battle of Bands, which was a fundraiser for a school program. I'm really convinced that it was the GLA, the Girls Leadership Association, somehow was involved with that. But it was like, of course, going to like a good cause, like some sort of disease, maybe Children's Hospital or something. And I had no band to speak of. I had no musical talent to speak of. I was only starting to really learn how to play guitar and write songs. I think at that point I had like 4 songs written. They were all written for Lindsey Quinn. And I was determined somehow to be a part of this. And it was like your normal like class president thing. People were putting signs up because there was like a prize awarded to the band that was voted best at the Battle of Bands. So I was putting up posters. Since I was a GATE student, I had access to free color copier. So I was taking these photos of me and just doing like ridiculous things like just blurring the photo out. Like I would open up the copier and just do this. And these were my band posters, and I would write just in marker like stuff that is almost like viral campaigns now for movies, you know, like Who is Salt, you know, Who is Darkman, and I was like, Mad Love Snaps will be there, you know, deal with it. And literally these were the posters, and I would hang on only 2 or 3 days before the event was actually to take place. Like I say, I had no band to speak of. No one really liked me. No one really wanted to put up with me. I was very whiny. I was just a chore to be around. But I just felt so strongly with such conviction that I had these creative leanings and that my career was to be in music, that I had to be at this Battle of Bands. So what ended up happening, I was never officially put on the roster. I never officially submitted myself due to previous issues with Battles of the Bands at other functions where I had actually been asked not to participate due to the content of what I intended to perform. Jeremy Pastrick, you know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, what happened the day of is I did show up. Somehow I was allowed to go out that night, which amazed me. Allowed to go out with the guitar that Mom and Dad had bought me for Christmas. Could not tune it. Sat on the pavement in front of Plum High School with an open guitar case, busking with Tom Forsyth, who also had a guitar and also could not play. More or less just strumming open strings and carrying on a conversation with Tom. Anytime a family would come in to watch this event, we would start strumming, and I think we would sing sort of like silly bullshit songs, which I don't do anymore, and asking people to donate money. And I remember by the end of the night we had raised $35 or so, and I remember having a real moral dilemma because I didn't think anyone really knew that I was outside doing that. And I sort of had the realization that I was unincorporated, I was unofficial, and I could probably get away with just pocketing the money. Of course, that borders on fraud because it was under the pretense of it being for a charity. I mean, that is fraud. It doesn't even border on it. It leaves the border way behind. In the end, I gave the money in, and in the end, that's an awesome thing to do. I took my free time, took what very little ambition and very, very limited talent I had, and put it towards this thing that was completely... and the people I was friends with, and I know Steve Valletta is a Chuck's chaser, and we love him. He's given great input and been a big supporter over the past year or two. But he was it was my major opposition. He was in a band that was from my circle of friends that I was loosely associated with, and I remember him being very vocal about his complaints about me being permitted to just sit outside and do that. No one came up, no one housed me. I cannot see someone getting away with that these days in a high school, so I'm very glad that it happened, and I'm very glad to have done that with Tom, who participated with me my senior year on a lot of creative ideas. And
he was brave enough to take Jill to prom.
He's a good man. He's a good man. And the last time I saw him, just as a 10-second epilogue, 20-second epilogue, was freshman year of high school. Every Friday I would go to breakfast with Lindsay Quinn, and one year on CMU campus, I just ran into Tom Forsythe, and the sky literally split open. It was one of those events where it's like not just drizzling and gradually growing to a large rain. The sky split fucking open as I'm running to Lindsay's dorm room Friday morning before my own classes. I just saw Tom on CMU campus. I think he was dating someone there, and I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing here? So that's the last I saw of him. And just like with every single other person you go to high school with, there's rumors and stories and shit, but Tom sat there for a good 2-3 hours and just bust playing nonsense songs with me. We didn't play one real song, and we made $35 for a good cause.
Sweet.